Here's what nobody selling you anything will ever admit. The system doesn't profit when you're free or independent. It only profits when you're dependent and owe somebody. So every monthly payment or subscription that you end up signing for is basically just a promise to hand a piece of your future to somebody else. So today we're counting down to 6 purchases that quietly steal years off your life. Here's what somebody selling you anything will never admit. The system doesn't profit when you're free or independent. It only profits when you're dependent and owe somebody. So every monthly payment or subscription that you sign up for is basically just a promise to hand a piece of your future to somebody else. So today we're counting down to 6 purchases that quietly steal years off your life. And I'm talking about 6 seemingly normal decisions that take the most powerful wealth building tool that you own, talking about your income, and chain it to something that just loses value or just locks you in. And we're going from number 6 to number 1. And number 1 is a mistake that almost everybody watching this has already made or is about to. So let's go. Quick heads up before we count down, some of these come with a hard rule, like a number that you should utilize. Others just come with a principle because the math changes person to person, but the truth doesn't. And the common denominator running through all of these 6, you're gonna see it by the end. And you should stay by the end because the last 60 seconds of this video is actually the most important part. Number 6, timeshares. Here's the reality. A timeshare depreciates the second you sign. It's essentially just like driving a new car off the lot, except this car ends up billing you every year forever. The maintenance fees end up climbing 5, 10, or sometimes up to 15% a year, and you don't get any kind of vote on that. Studies have shown that 85% of owners regret getting timeshares, and over 20 or 25 years, the total cost can blow past $60,000 to $70,000. So here's the principle. There's no formula required. If something costs you money every single year and you can't sell it and you needed a payment to buy it in the first place, that is not an asset. That's just a leash. They didn't sell you some sort of vacation. They just sold you a feeling and then they're charging you rent for it for the rest of your life. Number 5, the wedding you finance. The average American wedding now runs around $34,000. And to pay for it, there are a lot of couples that go into debt. They usually average around $8,000 on credit. And at today's credit card rates, that $8,000 could be roughly around $5,000 in interest. And it could take them up to 10 years to pay this off. 10 years for a party that lasted one day. And here's another thing. More than half of newlyweds say they regret how much they spent on their wedding. And money fights and money problems are the number 1 predictor of divorce. So the debt that you actually took to celebrate the marriage becomes one of the biggest threats to the actual marriage itself. The thing is, the wedding industry needs you emotional because emotional people don't check prices. Now, the principle is pretty simple. A party is not an investment. The marriage is a thing that matters, not the venue, not the flowers, and not the photos. And if a potential spouse tries to guilt you into getting into debt, maybe that's a sign. So never ever borrow for a single day. Number 4, whole life insurance. Look, on the surface, this actually sounds responsible. There's protection and a savings account that actually grows. What's not to love about this? Here's what's not to love about it. That cash value typically grows at around 2 to 3% each year. And that's less than inflation. The market, on the other hand, long term does about 7 to 10% a year. And in your first year, somewhere between 50 to 80% of what you actually pay disappears right into commissions and, fees. And it could take 10 to 15 years just to break even. Just to break even. Here's the translation. A salesperson got paid, and you got a product that looks like an investment while significantly underperforming a basic high yield savings account. So the principle here is pretty clean. Insurance protects, investments grow. But never let anyone glue the two together because that glue is where they hide the commission. If you have people that depend on you, just buy term insurance, which basically costs about 1/10 of what whole life insurance would cost you. And then take everything that you saved and invest the difference, which actually compounds for you and not for them. Number 3, a degree with no ROI. For 18 years, the script handed to you is this: go to college, take the loans, because this is an investment for your future. And for some paths, it really is. But the average borrower ends up walking away with $30,000 to $40,000 in debt, and they spend close to 20 years just paying it off. And there are numerous majors where graduates owe more than a full year of their total salary just to clear the balance. So think about it. You borrow money your future self can barely carry for a credential that the market doesn't pay much for. This is where I need you to rebel a little bit. Question the script. Don't just believe everything that you've been told, including what I tell you. So here's a rule that you can actually use. If you decide to take out a loan, even though I strongly advise against it, your total student debt should stay under what you'll realistically earn in your first year in that field. If the numbers don't work out, don't do it for the sake of just following your passion, because this is going to end up turning into a 20-year bill with your name on it. Education is supposed to open doors, not lock them. Number 2, a vehicle you can't afford. A car is one of the fastest depreciating things that we buy. It loses value while it just sits in your driveway, obviously just doing nothing. So when you end up financing one, you're not just paying for a car, you're locking in years of your income into an asset that shrinks every single day. So here's the rule. I want you to write this down. The total value of everything that you own with wheels on them should be no more than 50% of your gross annual income. So if you make $50,000 a year, you've got no business with more than $25,000 tied up to vehicles. And honestly, the further below that line that you stay, the richer you'll actually get. The people quietly building real wealth almost always drive far less than what they actually can afford. But most people do the opposite. They buy the car as a way to look successful to people who aren't necessarily paying their bills. But think about who's actually watching. The person who might actually give you a real opportunity, a deal, or a referral, they're not judging your car. They're just reading your character. The thing is, superficial signals only impress superficial people, and superficial people rarely have anything worth giving you. Number 1, a house you can't afford. This is number 1 because it's the one that almost everybody gets wrong. And the entire system is engineered to make sure that you actually do. The lender, the agent, the culture, even sometimes your own family, they're all gently just nudging you towards the very top of what you actually qualify for. But the bank's maximum approval was never built for your freedom or your independence. It was built for the bank. They'll tell you that your housing can be up to 30 to 35, sometimes up to 40% of your gross income. I'm going to tell you something different. You should have no more than 25% of your take-home pay into housing. That's the money that actually lands into your account, not the gross number on paper. And this needs to be on a 15-year fixed mortgage. You might ask, why so aggressive? Because your income is the single most powerful wealth building tool that you actually have. And a house that's above that 20% ratio takes that tool and pours it month after month into something that ends up just basically owning you. So the mortgage, the one debt that I'll actually tolerate, and only barely, the day it becomes yours, I want you to start hunting it. Every spare dollar that you have, every extra month, all of it just thrown until you get rid of the balance for good. Like, you need to actually own it, not be owned. That's the whole game. Now, go back and look at all 6. The timeshare, the wedding, the whole life policy, the degree, the car, and the house. And I want you to notice one common denominator. Every single one is powered by debt. Pull the debt out of the picture and not one of them can touch you. So let me say the thing. The entire system spends billions of dollars each and every year to keep you from believing that you need debt. But let me state the obvious. You don't need debt. Not to live, not to get ahead. The idea that you need debt to survive is the most profitable lie that's ever been told. And you've been swimming in that lie your whole life. Outside of a mortgage, your target should be 0. 0 car loans, 0 credit card balances, 0 financed anything. And that mortgage, the day that you actually sign it, I need you to treat it like your hair is on fire and you put it out as fast as you possibly can. Here's the skill that's underneath all of this. It's not a budgeting app. It's not, a side hustle. It's the ability to say no to yourself. That's it. Debt is almost never about need. It's about wanting something right now that you necessarily haven't earned yet. But, some people might say, I need a car. Like, no, you need transportation. Those are not the same things. Not every car requires a loan. If you can't pay cash for it, you work more. You catch rides for, a season. Even buy a bicycle. You can get an electric e-bike. The whole reason most people reach for the loan instead is that nobody, including themselves, have ever taught them how to actually be told no. So stop leaning in on willpower, make it your identity. Don't say, I'm trying to not to use debt. Say debt just isn't an option for me. When it's who you are, the decision's already made and the wanting starts to lose its grip. And I won't lie to you, this is very simple, but it's not easy. Simple because the rules can fit just basically on an index card. Hard because at some point you have to stand in front of the mirror and say the truth, which is the way I've been doing things hasn't worked, and I'm the common denominator in all of this. Say that sentence, mean it, because every no that you say to debt is a yes to your independence. Look, if you're ready to start saying that kind of no, subscribe. This is what this whole channel is built for people that are opting out of the debt machine and building something real instead.